In today's education system, there is a struggle to find the balance of what the students need to be taught and what they don't really need to know. In each school, there is a foundation, a philosophy that the school goes by for how they will run their classrooms. One that stands out the most to me is Reconstructionism, or as some refer to it as, social Reconstructionism. Reconstructionism is a philosophy that focuses on the social questions and the idea to create a better community and world. It is deliberately committed to bring about social and constructive changes, as well as cultivate a future planning attitude that considers the realities of the world. There are four main advocates of Reconstructionism. The founder of Reconstructionism, Theodore Bramwell, first thought of the idea in 1903. It was created after World War II as a chance for equal opportunity for a student coming from any economic class to be successful in their future. Bramwell wanted education to focus on learning history through examining the future. Bramwell believed the creation of a new social order through education would fulfill the basic values of a society. Another advocate for Reconstructionism is George Count. He was one of the main influencers during his time. He wrote a book called Dare the Schools Build a New Social Order. He believed students needed to be prepared for the real world and that students are the key to a better society. He called on teachers to educate students to prepare them for the social changes that would accompany heightened participation in science, technology, and other fields of learning without compromising their cultural education. This text was important in the development of social Reconstructionist schools in the United States. For social Reconstructionists, the class becomes an area where societal improvement is an active and measurable goal. Miles Horton was one of the first to bring Reconstructionism into education. He was the founder of the first school, Highlander Folk School, in 1932. He allowed students from all different social classes to attend this school. Classes contained lessons that would help prepare them for the real world. Many of the classes contained labor workshops that lasted for 6 weeks, during which about 25 potential labor leaders interacted under careful guidance of the Highlander staff. Paulo Freire, a Brazilian critical theorist, was one of the main advocates of social Reconstructionism. Throughout his life, Paulo had many experiences living in poverty. This helped shape his views on social changes. He believed that people must learn to resist oppression. He saw teaching and learning as a process of inquiry in which the student must invent and reinvent the world. He wrote a book called Pedagogy of the Oppressed, which emphasized the need for a new and modern education system to all of the population. Even though Reconstructionism was thought of before the Great Depression, it expanded as a way to find a solution to the problem. Supporters felt schools were the perfect starting point to fix social inequalities. It was a way to connect the classroom and the community. Progressive educators wanted to reform education and called it social Reconstructionism. They believed that the schools were not setting the students up to understand the problems that they were building in society. Progressive educators proposed that the schools create a new social order. John Dewey, an American philosopher and the father of educational philosophy, once said, "Our continued democracy of life will depend upon our own power of character and intelligence in using the resources at hand for a society which is not so much planned as planning, a society in which the constructive use of experimental method is completely naturalized. In such a national life, society itself would be a function of education, and the actual educative effect of all institutions would be in harmony with the professed aims of the special educational institution." The role of the teacher in the classroom. The role of the teacher in a Reconstructionism-style classroom is different than a normal classroom. Teachers are not supposed to tell the students what is right or wrong in society. They need to be a guide to the students by exploring social issues, giving a different viewpoint, and having the students analyze the issues in the real world. Teachers are the primary agents of social change. They are there to initiate lively discussions on controversial issues, political and educational. Teachers help open the door for learners to critically examine their cultural heritage. The role of the students in the classroom. The role of the student in a classroom is to analyze problems in society and the social inequalities and take action that can help create a better world. Students are expected to think on a deeper level than they were before. Students are not blank slates upon which knowledge is etched. They come to learning situations with already formulated knowledge, ideas, and understandings. This previous knowledge is the raw material for the new knowledge they will create. The student is the person who creates new understanding for him or herself. The teacher coaches, moderates, suggests, but allows the students room to experiment, ask questions, and try things that don't work. Learning activities require the students' full participation. An important part of the learning process is that students reflect on and talk about their activities. Students also set their own goals and means of assessment. The role of the community in the classroom. Reconstructionism promotes the community to be involved in the educational system. The community provides resources for students to analyze and figure out solutions to real-world problems. It is a way to bring the cultures and communities together inside the classroom. Reconstructionism curriculum in the classroom. Reconstructionism curriculum has many parts. It emphasizes big concepts, beginning with the whole and expanding to its parts. Its pursuit of students' questions and interests and values. Materials include primary sources of material and manipulative materials. Learning is interactive, building on what the students already know. Teachers have a dialogue with students, helping students construct their own knowledge. Knowledge is seen as dynamic, ever-changing with our experiences, and students work primarily in groups. Assessment in Reconstructionism. Students are assessed in a variety of ways. Assessments include student work, observation, points of view, as well as tests. The process of the assessment is just as important as the final product. The pros and cons of Reconstructionism. Some pros of Reconstructionism are: students are able to think on a deeper level on their own. They are challenged to think outside of the box. Students are able to pursue topics that interest them. They are able to discuss problems in society, and it promotes equality. Some cons of Reconstructionism are: teachers' main job is to guide the students in their learning. Students can get distracted on subjects that aren't as meaningful, and teachers can possibly lose control of the classroom discussions. My viewpoint and learning theory. In today's classroom, there is so much focus on what the students need to learn from a textbook. I agree that students need to be able to learn about the past so events do not repeat in the future. However, in today's classroom, there needs to be a focus on the events that are happening in our everyday life. We need to prepare our students for events that will affect their future. They need to learn how to recognize a problem and be able to try and find a solution to it. A classroom needs to have a balance of teaching students information and teaching them about the real world and what they will face. For my personal learning theory and philosophy, I would say I'm a mix between the essentialism philosophy and the Reconstructionism philosophy. The two philosophies that I will base my teaching off of are very different. In essentialism, the goal is to focus on the essential elements of academic and moral knowledge. It says that there needs to be a strong core curriculum and high academic standards. These are the main elements of essentialism that I will take into my classroom. From the Reconstructionism philosophy, I will definitely take the ideas of connecting the students and their backgrounds and apply them to the lessons that I will teach them. Also, I will have the classroom be a more student-based setup. The students will have a say in the different ways that they will learn the information, along with teaching them about the problems that are happening in their everyday life and help them think deeper on ways of finding a solution. This will allow the students to feel that they have a say in their education, as well as keeping them engaged in the classroom. Advocates of social Reconstructionism contend that the more involvement we have, the better off we will be as a society. They claim that as things stand now, only a small percentage of people get involved in social issues because they do not know how to do so. Advocates of social Reconstructionism emphasize that it can be safely practiced if certain common safeguards are applied. So in conclusion, I believe that my personal learning theory lines up with parts of essentialism, but mostly Reconstructionism. I believe that if we do not prepare the students of today for problems they will face in the future, they will not be successful. We as teachers need to act as guides for our students and allow them to think deeper on situations and problems that surround them. Paulo Freire once said, "The teacher is no longer merely the one who teaches, but one who is him or herself taught in dialogue with the students, who in turn, while being taught, also teach. They become jointly responsible for the process in which all grow."